Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? You know, I've been telling you guys for the longest, and it's very important to let all my new viewers know this because I get new subscribers every day. My channel is different than any other boxing channel on YouTube. Okay? What I mean by that is I've heard other boxing uploaders, other YouTubers, I should say, who do videos, make videos, I've heard them say in some of their videos, you know, I would say a whole lot of other things, but I don't want to lose my subscribers, etc., etc. See, that's what makes me so different. Because over here at Dante's Boxing Nation, I don't give a damn. And I am going to tell you the whole truth. I don't care if you could take it or not. I'm not concerned about losing a subscriber because the truth is everybody ain't invited to this party. That is the truth. I have banned and blocked more people on my channel than some people have subscribers. And that is the truth. And most of these people were subscribed to me, which lets you know that I really didn't give a damn. There was a time when I thought I was going to go down in history as blocking the most people on YouTube. I've slowed down recently. Fortunately, I haven't had a reason to block as many people lately. Told you guys I was blocking 5 to 10 people a week about 2-3 months ago. But I don't have to do that right now. But the point that I'm making is I don't worry about certain people who can't handle the truth. Because my channel is specifically dedicated to the people who want to hear the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Nothing is out of bounds when it comes to this channel. We're going to talk about the racism. We're going to talk about the racial double standards that exist in the sport of boxing. Why are we going to talk about these things? Because like I always tell you guys, the sport of boxing is a unique sport. It is very different than any other sport that we watch. Outside of the UFC, there's no other sport that comes close to what the sport of boxing represents. And that is race, country, and pride. This is what boxing is about. This is what it's all about. It's all about race, country, and pride. If you guys don't believe me, what Robert Garcia just said today, it thoroughly corroborates with that exact point that I am making. What Freddie Roach said when he got angry with Robert Garcia and his team, that completely corroborates the point that I'm making. When I do a Mayweather versus Canelo breakdown video, 40 minutes long, talking about nothing but boxing, boxing, boxing. I'm not talking about race. I'm not talking about anything else other than boxing. I completely broke down why Mayweather would win the fight and how the fight will play out. To a T, right? What did Canelo fans do? Not all of them, but a large chunk of them. What did they do? They repeatedly send me racist message after racist message. Why? The video was only about who will win the fight, Mayweather or Canelo, how the fight will play out. But see, they sent me racist messages. Why? Because it was about nothing but race, country, and pride to them. They didn't like the fact that I said Mayweather would win the fight. They didn't care if it made sense or not. It was only about race for them. Right? I already told you about the Joel Diaz situation. For those of you guys who haven't heard it, I'm going to say it again. Joel Diaz, he had a Mexican associate that basically wanted to bet him $5,000 that Marquez would beat his fighter. Joel Diaz, he said, let's do it. Of course, Joel, he wins the bet. This guy comes back, pays Joel. He says, Joel, I just don't understand. How could you go against the Mexican race? How could you go against the Mexican? He's saying this to Joel. He doesn't care that Tim Bradley is his #1 source of income. He doesn't care that Tim Bradley is a good guy. He doesn't care that Joel has been training this guy, Tim Bradley, since he was a kid. Only thing this man cared about was race. That was the only thing that mattered. You know, I had a fight party at my house. And I've explained to you guys, there was a time when my son was training at a gym where his trainer was Filipino from Hawaii. And, you know, we were very friendly with them. When we threw a fight party, they would come to my house. They would bring all their friends. We would have 60 to 75 Filipinos in the house. Now, keep in mind, coincidentally, my kids are half Filipino. So obviously, their mom, my wife, is Asian. So anyway, I threw a house party. And it was a couple that was there. There was obviously friends of a friend of a friend. And it was a Filipino couple. Now, this lady was talking to my wife. And she was asking my wife, who do you think will win between Mayweather and Pacquiao? My wife told her, I think that Floyd Mayweather will win. He's just a smarter fighter. Manny Pacquiao gets hit a lot, etc., etc. This woman almost dropped her drink as she dropped her jaw, looking at my wife. She said, "You're going against the Filipino? How could you go against Manny Pacquiao?" And this is when I overheard and I said to her, I said, you have to understand something. There's a difference between who you're going for and who you think is going to win. We're just talking boxing. We're talking about who has the better skills and etc., etc. Who has a better chance of winning? It's not really about who you're rooting for, right? And she just shook her head and said, yeah, but there's no way I would go against Manny Pacquiao no matter what. I would never go against Manny Pacquiao, right? So what she was telling us is this really didn't have anything to do with boxing. It had more to do with race, country, and pride. This is all it had to do with. See, you hear the truth when you're talking to certain people and you're in certain circles. You don't really hear the truth as much on the internet when people are just, you know, saying, oh, I can't stand this guy or this guy's going to win. They're trying to cover up the fact that it's really about something larger. Race, country, and pride. One more example. My Mexican buddy from the gym, I remember he told me when he went to his friend's house, all Mexican, of course, to go watch the Mayweather versus Victor Ortiz fight. Now, he tells me, he said, Dante, I'm telling all of them, I'm telling you guys, Mayweather's going to win this fight, and he's going to win this fight easy, right? Now, you know, you got a lot of Mexicans there. The Mexican pride is brewing. And the truth be told, from what my Mexican friends tell me, the majority of people thought that Victor Ortiz was going to beat Floyd Mayweather. At least as the fight was playing out when they seen Victor Ortiz get aggressive, etc., right? So he's telling them as they're getting all hype when they see Victor Ortiz, you know, rally with a combination. He's just telling them, I'm telling you guys, Mayweather's going to win. Mayweather's going to win this fight easy. And he says all the Mexicans that were there, they were like, shut up, man. You're a sellout, man. You're a freaking sellout. How could you say that? You're a sellout. They didn't want to hear that. You know why they didn't want to hear that? Because it was about race, country, and pride. For you to say that another race is going to win the fight against your own race, you have to be a sellout. That's what this sport is about, guys. It is about race, country, and pride, regardless if people want to admit it or not. So speaking of race, before I run out of time, let's get into what Robert Garcia said in his most recent interview with Elliot Setback and the fans. And by the way, let me just say this. Elliot Setback has been doing a job on Team Garcia. He has been exposing Garcia to the fullest. And he hasn't even been doing it intentionally. He's just doing his job as a journalist. All he's basically doing is he's catching fans walk up to Team Garcia and ask them questions. Why won't you fight Gamboa? And this has been going on for like the last couple of weeks, ever since Gamboa and 50 Cent called out Mikey Garcia. So recently, Robert Garcia has sat down with Elliot Setback, and Elliot Setback was reading questions that fans had for Robert Garcia and Mikey Garcia. So one Spanish guy, he asked the question, and this is all being relayed through Elliot Setback. He asked the question directly to Robert Garcia, why are you guys scared of Gamboa? And let me tell you, Robert Garcia, because this is not the first time he had to deal with these type of questions. Robert Garcia, he completely lost control. And he let the truth slip out. Robert Garcia responded by saying, what is up with these fucking Cubans, man? They think they fucking run Florida and they run the whole boxing world. And then Robert Garcia said something that even shocked me. He said, these Cubans are lucky that we even let them stay in the country. Are you serious? Did Robert Garcia just say that? Now, I could understand this coming from Freddie Roach, but Robert Garcia just said that? Let me give you guys an example of how ridiculous that sounds. That's like a Filipino person saying, these damn Vietnamese people, they are lucky that we even let them stay in the country. That is how ridiculous that sounds. I'm going to tell you guys something. Understand, once again, the Cuban fans and all the other fans that's asking for Mikey Garcia to step up and fight Gamboa, they never said anything about the Mexican race. They didn't say anything about Mexicans, deportation, or anything like that. They didn't say anything negative about Mexicans. All they said is, when is Mikey Garcia going to step up and fight against Gamboa? Even Mikey Garcia's fans were asking him right on camera, when are you going to fight Gamboa, champ? We want to see it. But all of a sudden, Robert Garcia, he makes this all about race, country, and pride. I could say a lot more about the ridiculous statements that Robert Garcia just made, but let me just say this right now. It's really surprising to see a guy who is somewhat of a role model. He's an older, respectable trainer, and you just wouldn't expect this from someone like Robert Garcia, but it tells you the truth about what type of person Robert Garcia is deep down. Just because he's a trainer, you know, we give him more respect than he deserves, just like we did Freddie Roach. But the truth is coming out. The public has put a lot of pressure on Team Garcia because they want to see Garcia versus Gamboa. HBO, they desperately want to make this fight right now. All right? You know, Mikey Garcia, for whatever reason, I don't even know why he did it now, but Mikey Garcia, he called out Gamboa, and now the saying, be careful what you wish for, could not be more relevant in this situation. I'm going to say this, and I don't care how fans take it. If Mikey Garcia doesn't fight Gamboa under all of this pressure, this will go down as one of the greatest ducks of all time. Understand something. In the Mayweather-Pacquiao situation, those guys negotiated with each other on multiple occasions. Mikey Garcia is not even been willing to negotiate with Gamboa, which tells you he wants absolutely no part of Gamboa.